Hello everyone, hope you are well on this Thursday afternoon. No video yesterday, had to take a day off on the video part. Work was busy. One of those days where you just, you started out early, try to get a head start, but it didn't make any difference. I was still working late. But sometimes we have those days. I enjoy my work, so no big deal there. Back on track today. The threat is still there. I do not believe this deal is over. I don't believe that this war is over, even though the ceasefire looks like it is holding for about 12 hours or something like that, maybe longer than that. But the threat is still there, and I'll go into that. Also, this thing with the media, and I'm not surprised, trying to downgrade what was done over the weekend as far as the bombing in Iran. I'll go into that a little bit. Also, let's see, this New York City mayor, this guy, they may just have a humdinger of a doozy of a humdinger. I don't know, whichever. As a mayor, he's won the primary, so he's not mayor yet. But man, that's red alarm bells just going off, y'all. I'm going to go into that. If I have time, I'm going to go into three ways that you save money. 3 ways that we are trying to save money in our household. And name your 3 ways that you're trying to cut back or do something to save some money, because y'all, prices are not coming down. Prices are not coming down. At least not yet. I still hold hope that we will get some kind of relief somehow. However, we must prepare that we will not. All right, on to these other things real quick. The Ayatollah, the supreme leader, finally came out from under the rock, or wherever cave he was in, and declared victory. I don't know what his definition of victory is, but and he's also threatening again, making new threats. So these people, so far at least, it has not gone away. My hope is that the Persian people would be able to break through, rise up enough to oust the mullahs and get a real government in there. That's my hope, because the Persian people are good people. You know, it's this government that's a problem, this regime. That's my hope. But this is not over. They're making fresh threats. I believe they have assets right here in this country, in the United States, Europe, maybe even Canada. You're not immune either up there. And that's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big concern, and we should be prepared to react, prepared to deal with the best we can. I've gone into that before. You know, this thing about and Hegseth, man, I tell you, the dude, people were doubting him, but especially compared to the last Secretary of Defense, y'all, man, I can't even remember the dude's name. So forgettable. I just remember that image of him walking down a parade of somewhere else with that mask and something else over his head and looking all scared. Anyway, enough of him. Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, comes out and just calls out the media, man, like, y'all are just, this is why we call you fake news, because we have been saying, many sources are saying, they should know that this site that they bombed Saturday was in fact obliterated. The mountains, or at least part of that mountain, is no longer there. Okay? They dropped 6 of the largest bombs that we manufacture, at least that we know of, and they hit their target. You know, how do we know for sure? For sure, we really don't as folks, but we just know what they're going to tell us, and it comes down to, what are you going to trust? I trust Hegseth and his people more than I do the fake media, whatever source they were talking about. At least that's the way I'm feeling about it right now. So any opportunity that they can take to chip away at Trump administration, the military, you know, they're going to do it. And I think it's awful, but that's what they do. If you turn this around, I mean, let's say if Biden had done something like that, I'd be cheering him too. I mean, if he got rid of a threat, or he reacted correctly, or did something and it was a really good thing, and all that, I'm like, yeah, I want America to be better. I want America to win. Regardless of who's in the office, I want it good for the people. Now, I don't want to digress too far into that. Okay. I know I'll have comments, but which is fine. But Hexeth is like, this is why we call y'all that. And he got it on a personal level. He's talking about the military, the men and the women who flown, who were pilots, and all the other people who supported, not just those pilots, but the tankers, the people on the ground. He's mentioning all these people. When have you heard that before? From a Secretary of Defense, especially. So I think that's a good thing. What else? So the next thing is this. Oh yeah, I was going to mention. And you have people coming out and like, oh, they didn't do nothing. Oh, they moved it here. Oh, they moved it. Oh, we didn't hit nothing. Man, they don't know either. You don't know nothing. What do you know? You read it from some source you never heard of on X or something? I don't know. You don't know whether they moved it or not. I mean, what does it matter at the moment? It's interesting because all the armchair, I say quarterbacks, that's what you do after a football game, right? On Monday. All the armchair day after satellite image specialists come out of the woodwork like they've been trained in looking at satellite images. They don't know nothing. Armchair generals, second guessing everything. You're not a general? Well, maybe not even in the military. So don't listen to these people. Don't let that sidetrack you. Anyway, I just had to say that part. It's sickening. It's sickening is what it is. It's anti-American. It's divisive. It's divisive. It's a good word. That's probably the best word I can come up with. But the threat is still there. I still am concerned about the sleeper cell thing. Y'all, I know sleeper cell is an overused term probably at this point, and we've been hearing about sleeper cells for years. I know. However, I think it is a real threat. Not something to obsess over. Okay, don't obsess over it. New York City mayor, dude. Okay, this guy, I can't even pronounce this guy's name. Mamdani. Anyway, won the Democratic primary. Now, he's not governor yet, but he's won the Democratic primary, which means he probably has a good chance of winning, being the next governor of New York City. Now, this guy that was in there, Eric Adams, is going to run as an independent. So we're going to have to root for Eric Adams. All right? I don't even know who the Republican is. That person has no shot. Okay. And you folks in New York City or that little area there that watch the channel, I know there's at least several of you out there. Chime in on this. What do you think? What are people saying? What are people talking about there? But anyway, this guy, he won the Democratic primary. Okay, young, attractive, okay, good speaker. But listen, some of the stuff, I was doing some research on this guy. Defund police, and that's just the beginning of it. Defund police. He wants city-run grocery stores. He wants social workers to replace police. Now, I don't know about the whole police force, but he wants social workers to really replace the role, at least on some level, of police officers. Can you believe that? Now, in the field that I work in, it's not unusual for social workers to accompany some police, especially domestic calls, that kind of stuff, but not to replace them. Not to replace them. They are an added service. They are an added value, okay? Free transportation, free buses, no-cost childcare. This guy's just saying anything, okay? $30 minimum wage. Okay. He wants to raise taxes on the highest 1% income earners. Atlas Shrugged, the book Atlas Shrugged comes to mind there. He wants to ban all of these, all of them, which I think New York City pretty much does that anyway. But he wants to force, he says, we are going to force ICE agents from not deporting our neighbors. So we're going to force them into not being able to deport our neighbors, he says. Good luck with that. You're going to use those social workers to do that? I don't think that's going to cut it. Even police. Ain't going to work. And I saw this interview with Tom Homan, and he's like, we're going to double down now. We're going to double down even more in the sanctuary cities. We're really focusing on them. Dude ain't playing. That guy don't play. But anyway, let me know, New York City mayor, that's, but I believe that's, and you're like, why are you focusing so much on New York City or in Georgia? Well, I think this is a trend, and I think, especially if this guy is successful, this ain't the last place you're going to see this. This is something that is a movement, and it is their goal. That's how they get in. They get in power, and before you know it, they're making the rules. They're making the rules, y'all. So you're going to walk down your street one day, and if you've been asleep, and you wake up one day when you're walking down your street, and the women are having to wear face coverings. Because if they don't, they might be put in jail. And by the way, you don't have any of these to protect yourself anymore. That's the direction they're going. Remember the old movie, Escape from New York? I mean, I think it was an old 80s movie. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on it, especially you folks in New York City. All right, 3 ways that you save money. We know the prices aren't coming down, y'all, and more videos are coming about that, I'm sure, but anytime you go to the store, you go for anything out there, y'all, things just keep going up. Gasoline went down for a little bit, it went back up. I know in some places it depends, it's gone down a little bit, but the price of things are not coming down overall, at least not yet. So, and I'm not holding my breath on that, as with some other stuff, I know. But anyway, 3 ways that we in the doghouse, have saved some money, or at least trying to, in the last year. We fired our insurance company, and what I mean by that is our homeowners and auto insurance. Kept going up, and then it really went up. We have no claims in years and years, and I know a lot of this because the reason that the price increase is we're lumped in with Metro Atlanta, so high risk. But we found another source through networking, through people that we know. A broker got us a lot better, good bit better price, especially on the auto. Not so much the homeowners as much, but the auto really made it worth it. Made it very worth it to change, and it was very easy to do it. It's not that hard, right? Also, if you can pay your insurance the whole year at one time, that saves some money too. Or even 6 months instead of monthly, it saves you some money. We eat out less. All right. And that means takeout. We do more takeout when we do eat out. So we don't eat in as much. So probably the majority of our eating out is actually takeout. I just grab it on the way home. You save drinks. You don't have to get a drink, which are way overpriced. And the tip, you don't have to tip. Those 2 things alone, man, that adds up. But even all that, we do less. We pack our lunch every day, and this kind of ties in with the second one, but still, we pack our lunch. I would say most weeks it's every day for me and Miss Dog when she has to drive in. You can really save some money that way, because if you eat out for lunch, it's $20. It's $15, $20 for just the minimum usually. That adds up. Think about that over a week, a month, a year. So your food, your groceries, using coupons, digital coupons, all that kind of stuff also can help. Let me know in the comments how, at least 3 ways that you have been saving money, or that you plan to do. That you haven't, maybe you haven't implemented it yet and you're thinking about it, and that you plan to do that. 3 ways you're saving money that might help somebody else. Give them an idea. Put that in the comments. I'm gonna go do a passage. Whoa, passage. All right. I didn't even get the book. I didn't even get it out and get it ready, y'all. I just went into doing a video, so bear with me. We're in Matthew chapter 5. We're in Matthew chapter 5 into the Beatitudes, and we're going to go, let's see here. We're going to focus on verse 6, chapter 5, verse 6, Matthew. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. And again, this is one of those things that, you know, if you ask for it, and if you pray, you meditate on it, and you hunger, you thirst for it, you know, and you're not perfect. You admit that you're not perfect. We're all sinners. We don't have it always put together. We're not put together every day the way we would really like to be, or we think we are sometimes. And that's okay. We're human. We make mistakes. We learn from them. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. They will be satisfied. You are seeking. You seek the righteousness. You pray for it. And you are putting in the effort. That's what it's getting at here. That's the way I'm reading it. They will be satisfied. That's encouraging to me. Let me know your thoughts. Let's keep being alert. Let's keep preparing. Stay close to Jesus. God bless y'all. I'll see you soon.